Hello, guys, and welcome here to Tinkle Sports Talk. No, we are not live this Sunday. Unfortunately, we're back to work on a Sunday. So tragic, but it's all right. We're here. We're still here, even if it is pre-recorded. To our audio listeners, glad you can join us again on a Sunday.
I know. Instead of a Tuesday where I got put on.
Yeah, Tuesday at noon or something like that. But anyway, today today we're going to talk some news in the NFL. We're also going to talk about the latest on the NBA playoffs and the Blazers coaching position. We also have reactions from the Mayweather-Logan Paul fight, as well as your latest MLB news, and of course the latest on the Stanley Cup playoffs. And then of course Tinkle on this, and it's a little different this week for Tinkle on this, but I think you guys will like it nonetheless. But let's dive right in. Let's start out. Aaron Rodgers he has stated he will not attend the mandatory minicamp. Jordan Love has already come out and said he is ready to start week 1 if need be. And the latest now is the Packers are going to try to restructure Aaron Rodgers' deal to either trade or release him at the end of the season. This is just getting ugly, but I feel like this is just the beginning.
See, I thought it was just a big ruse, but I guess now it's becoming more reality than it is anything. And then I guess he's really showing that he is actually truthful to his word. And I guess all the rumors are true, but it's minicamp. I would worry about it more if he actually missed out on training camp. Minicamp, I'm not worried about. Yes, it's mandatory. Yes, he can get fined for it, but the dude's making bank. He can afford paying some fines for missing minicamp. I, right now, say I don't think it's going to spell trouble for the Packers unless he misses training camp. Then you would think, okay, he's missing training camp. He's not going to really be ready for the season. Yeah, I guess I would be okay with his contract getting structured to the way where it's not going to hurt Green Bay too much financially if he does get traded or released. So Jordan Love being ready by week 1 is more of a possibility than Aaron Rodgers being ready for week 1. I don't know how you feel about it. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
To be honest, it just states, or I think it goes without stating, that actions truly do speak louder than words. In the Aaron Rodgers interview with ESPN a few weeks ago, definitely was just a sham to do damage control. And needless to say, it didn't work. So, but, if he's not happy there, you might as well just try to restructure something and get him out of there. Look, I mean, if he's not happy there, he's not going to try. Plain and simple.
I know we didn't write this down. Do you think everything's truthful? Do you think he's supposed to be the Madden cover athlete? And the reason why they haven't come out with it is because he's supposed to be on it and they just have no idea what to do right now because they don't know if he's going to stay in Green Bay or go elsewhere?
Didn't they do this with Brett Favre a few years ago?
Yeah, I mean, like 2008 when he
was supposed to be on Madden 09, and they scrambled and had to put up a Jets cover instead.
Well, the thing is, they still released it with him in his Green Bay gear, but then they re-released it with him in Jets colors. So
yeah,
I mean,
yes,
I think
he's gonna be
what you could do is, why can't you just do like a plain like NFL, like a black or white jersey, or have it Aaron Rodgers, but like have him wearing like a plain jersey. Where like it's just like a plain jersey, plain color jersey. At this point, it'd be better than nothing. You got to release the game before August. So.
Yeah, or better yet, put Derrick Henry on the cover at this point. Try to put him on.
Yeah,
come on, look, Aaron Rodgers won MVP.
It would not be that hard.
Aaron Rodgers won MVP, but Derrick Henry
Mm,
won the season at the end of the day with his
yeah,
stat line. So, I mean, it wouldn't hurt if he was on the cover, but if they're committed to Aaron Rodgers, then just release the cover. Who cares? If he gets traded, then print out some other covers later in the year or whatever.
yeah, exactly.
So,
But I think if they really have to scramble, just put Derrick Henry on there. Boom, you already know he's going to be staying with the Tennessee Titans at least another few years. So it'd probably be better just to have him on the cover. Yes, I get it. He was the MVP. He was the offensive player of the year, but
hmm,
it'd be a better second option.
I
All
don't
right.
know.
As far as that, there's a second year quarterback that is apparently
Oh
hit
my
up the
gosh.
gym
He
a
is
little bit
he's been
recently.
he's been
So
getting memed. He just stands there like this. That's literally how he showed off, as he was just like this. He looked like he got pecked in the face by like an angry goose or something.
is he growing out
Yeah.
that hair, or is he still got it
Oh yeah,
short?
he's got the long hair again, but my boy Justin Herbert, he comes back to mini camps and he is just jacked. Um, I'm wondering if he's been hitting the books as much as he's been hitting the gym, because if he's hit the books as much as he's hit the gym, I'm scared. Like, let this say, I think he's gonna be in for a monster second season.
Uh, I'm hoping so. You put up great numbers in your rookie campaign. You can only go up from here.
Yeah.
Yeah, what, like 20 touchdowns, I think, his rookie year. He's probably in line for at least like 30, maybe close to 40 touchdowns.
I
Um,
I'd say 30 is a safe number.
yeah,
Um, I'm interested to see
a
what
lot
this.
of players end up having a second year slump.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean,
Josh Allen, to my knowledge, was actually better in his
I
second
mean,
year than he was in his
he
first
was
year.
he was
So,
slightly. I mean, my issue with him though is he was never very consistent. He was always in his first 3 years, I should say, or his first 2 or 3 years. He was wildly
hmm,
inconsistent, and he just couldn't complete
yeah,
passes. He was basically Lamar Jackson his first few years.
right.
If he wasn't running,
Justin Herbert,
you know,
on the other hand, is a lot more consistent. He can
yeah,
actually
I think
throw the
he's,
ball. He can sling it too.
you know,
He has the arm, and I think he has the accuracy.
yeah.
So to put on more muscle on those arms only spells better
Mhm.
accuracy
Yeah.
for Justin Herbert. It's all fine and dandy, but if you guys
Mhm.
can't get into the playoffs,
Look,
I'm
I
sorry,
think
it's not really gonna do much.
I think what's gonna happen, I'm telling you, I'm maintaining it. I've said it the last 2 years I've been wrong, but I'm gonna say it again. The Chargers are the biggest threat to the Chiefs in the AFC West. Okay? They are
Hmm.
the biggest threat to them. The Raiders are all, you can say, "Oh well, Brian, the Raiders are right there too." They played very well the first part of the season. That's the point. The first part of the season, then they fell apart. I called it last season. I knew they were gonna melt down mid-season, and people didn't believe
The
me.
problem is, the problem is the Raiders just don't do enough to
The problem,
improve that team.
the
They
problem
always
is they
go
gotta.
after guys that just you shake your head.
No, it's not just that. The problem is they got a coach who hasn't come out of the 1990s and 2000s. Okay, that's their main problem. Is they got
Right.
a coach who's still living in the Tampa Bay Super Bowl year that he had. Okay,
Yeah, but he also had talent around him.
okay,
Not saying that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now don't. Like he had a great
yeah,
defense.
but that's the thing.
You
He
know,
he
you had
always had.
Warren Sapp.
Yeah,
You had a lot of other guys. Um, they had. I'm pretty sure they even had like a no-name quarterback too that helped them win that Super Bowl. But it
yeah.
was all defense. And we said it before, defense in the
Mhm,
NFL wins championships. And but as far
mhm.
as Justin Herbert goes, I don't know if he's a favorite to win the MVP.
Now,
With so many great other quarterbacks
um,
in the NFL, they say, Oh well, uh, Mahomes won in the second year. Um, a lot of other guys have won in their second
See,
year. I think he's gonna be in line. No, 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 no,
I don't
no,
know
no, no.
if
I hate to say it. Yes, he's a great quarterback, but he's not gonna be like 4,000, 5,000 yards and like
yeah,
45, 50 touchdowns. He ain't gonna be that, you know, near that.
yeah.
Yeah, not saying he won't, because I think he
He might
very well could
eventually.
have seasons like
Um,
that.
I think,
But right in the second
yeah,
year, no, I do
no.
not see it happening.
I think maybe down the road, but I'm telling you, I'm gonna list my three right now that I think are going to be ahead of him, or actually four. How's about that? Four. Um, Josh Allen's, not in no particular order, by the way. Josh Allen.
Yeah,
Let's see. Kyler Murray, I think, will be in that discussion this year.
yeah,
Um,
that I can
you know,
agree with.
um, let's see. Russell Wilson, I think he'll be up there again. He'll be making a run for it.
And of course, we're gonna talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
The
that
next
after I read this off.
section.
So yeah, Josh Allen, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson. I'd even say Tom Brady at this point, and then I'd give a,
Oof.
I'd even give like a, you know, oh my gosh, I can't think of the word. But Patrick Mahomes would also be in that discussion, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just don't see the Chiefs doing well this season. I'm hoping they prove me right, but you know, we'll see. Anyway, on to Russell Wilson here. So Russell Wilson stated on Good Morning Football, he has never demanded a trade. You said if is he ever going to be in the MVP discussion, or is he just a pretender? I think I just answered that.
Yeah. The problem with Russell Wilson is he always starts off in that discussion, and then towards the end of the season he just drops down. I don't know what it is about Russell Wilson. In like the first
Hmm.
4 games is looking hot. He's slinging that, throwing like 5 touchdowns a game, and then towards the end of the season is like, where the hell was Russell Wilson? Like this,
Hmm.
like the start of last season, he was slinging it. Seahawks were looking good. Everybody's like, "Oh, Russell Wilson, I think he's going to be the MVP." And
Hmm.
then no longer in that discussion. That's what I'm saying. That man has never, first off, has never won an MVP ever in his career. Two, I'm pretty sure he's been close, but hasn't been there. You want to know another name that has never won the MVP but
Drew
was a great
Brees.
quarterback? Drew Brees.
Hmm.
Drew Brees. The
And to
problem
be fair,
is,
it's not his
you can be
fault
a great
that
quarterback.
here's the thing. It's not his fault that he was always third or fourth tier to Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and then later in his
Hmm.
career, Aaron Rodgers. Okay, and on top of it, he
Right.
had Patrick Mahomes come out of nowhere. It's really
Hmm.
not his fault that he had other quarterbacks come out of nowhere. And I'm telling you, the year Mahomes won it, it should have been Drew Brees because let's face it, again, Mahomes has Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, and you saw in that Super Bowl what he did when those two were shut down. Okay?
Right.
That's
He
all you
didn't
need to know
show
about
up at
Patrick
all.
Mahomes. It's proven me right, okay? I don't care what anybody says. As a Chargers fan, it may, you could say I'm a Chargers fan and that's why I have so much hate for him, but to me that proves right
Yeah.
there how overrated Patrick Mahomes was these last few years.
Hmm.
So, um,
Um.
but anyway,
Now,
it's
I don't know. I want to say I could see him being in
see,
Seattle for a while, but like
I
eventually Russell Wilson has to say enough's enough. If you're not gonna, if you're year after year, if you're not gonna give me enough,
hmm,
like not saying that he doesn't have talent around him. It's just like
I think it's gonna
there's
take.
nothing that they're doing to help prepare that team. That defense hasn't been good since like 2012. The offense, yes, is good. They have DK
Hmm,
Metcalf. They have Lockett, Tyler Lockett. They have DK Metcalf. They have some great supporting cast and offense. You're just doing nothing for that defense. They keep on bringing
yeah,
in these guys that they think are gonna beef up that defense. Ha ha ha. They haven't been a Legion of Doom in a long time. when they were,
Yeah.
in those two Super Bowls back to back. They've been basically the Seahawks of old, except that they somehow get
Mhm.
into the playoffs every single year. I don't know how
See,
they do it, but they get in
at,
there every single year.
at this point, is it like Mike McCarthy for Russell Wilson, where Mike McCarthy held Aaron Rodgers back? Now is it Pete Carroll holding Russell Wilson back? Because I'm going to be honest, I think it is him holding Russell Wilson back.
I don't know. I think it's a little bit of both because if Russell Wilson's not showing up and putting up great numbers, then you have to put some blame on Russell
Yeah.
Wilson not performing throughout the whole season. And then yes, I can agree Pete Carroll's not doing enough to help that team out
Hmm.
because Russell Wilson, there was those couple times during those two Super Bowl runs where he was looking good and consistent. Now he's like, is father time kind of catching up to him? Is he just like not been the same Russell Wilson ever since? Like,
I don't
I
think it's
don't know.
father
There's so many
time.
answers to. There's so
See,
many questions that need to be answered. So I don't know. I think it's a little bit of both. And I honestly think that the relationship between Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson needs to break up. Just the same thing with like Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. You need to
hmm,
break it up. Sometimes when you think that you have something way too good, sometimes you got to break it up and maybe go to a team with new chemistry, new teammates, and see if
hmm.
you can revitalize your career a little bit.
See, I
So
I think they
I,
should
I
get
think it would be
someone.
best for him to walk after the season.
I don't know. I think I think he's going to be in Seattle one whether he likes it or not. Let's put it that way. Whether he likes it or not, he's going
Hmm.
to be in Seattle for his probably his entire career, and he loves it there. I truly believe he does, because why would he spend every Tuesday at the children's hospital there if he didn't love being there? Okay. I think he
True.
loves being there, but unlike what Aaron Rodgers said, which now has been deemed to be a total lie, it is, I think he truly likes it there. He just doesn't like the people. The people being Pete Carroll. Um, I'm telling you, Pete Carroll, here's the thing. The difference between him and Mike McCarthy is that Mike McCarthy was too stupid to put together a playbook. Then you've
Hmm.
got, and he still is, by the way, he still is. He's going to hold back Dak Prescott over the next few years as well. But,
Oh yeah, probably.
but Pete Carroll is too unorthodox for his own good that it doesn't benefit Russell Wilson or allow him to play to his skill level. Um,
Hmm.
he kind of let him play it out early in the year, but then the offensive line fell apart. Then then Russell Wilson wasn't looking as good. I'm wondering if maybe it finally got to his head that, you know, oh man, I'm struggling. I'm getting hit every play. I'm getting angry. I want to just like sling it up, you know. But I think
Hmm.
at some point, I think you can't blame the offensive line. You've got to blame Pete Carroll for all of this.
Yeah.
And I think if Seattle was smart, they'd let their 75-year-old or however the heck old he is coach go and just tell him go retire already. Um,
um, it'll be interesting to see what's gonna happen. Of course, he's gonna be playing this year, but something has to give. It's either Russell Wilson walks or they fire Pete Carroll. It's definitely like you can't have both. You gotta have one or the other. You have to. At
hmm.
the end of the day, you have to understand: is it the coach, or is it or would
could
we
he
benefit more? Like
could he
before
pull a
they
Dwight
had
Howard?
Russell Wilson, they sucked.
Here's the question: could he pull a Dwight Howard and go up to the GM and be like, he goes or I go? No more,
At the end of the day, you
because at
gotta be
that
like,
point,
look, every single year we get to the
hmm,
playoffs, and then like I'm looking good at the start of the year, and then towards the end of the year, I'm sucking.
but
Something has to
let's
give. Like either you bringing me in
mhm.
pieces that are gonna help me and this team out, or you either get rid of him or I walk.
Yeah.
Like,
And to be fair, it's easier to get rid of a coach than it is to get rid of a player. So, then it's going
y-
to come down to Pete Carroll and whatnot.
And trust me, if they were to get rid of Pete Carroll, there's a lot of great candidates out there, and we know definitely two of them that could be great candidates, maybe
Mm,
in that Seattle, offense that could work well. Eric
uh,
Bieniemy and probably Brian Dable
mhm.
could work very well
I
in that
think
Seattle offense
I
to
think Bieniemy
revitalize
would
that
be that
team. But
guy. Bieniemy could get the most out of Russell
but
Wilson,
you
I think.
know,
But
of course, we can talk about that, next off season because
yeah,
there'll definitely be a lot of coaches that'll be on the hot
oh, I
seat.
know. But
Um,
let's
the very interesting
move forward with.
thing, speaking of another player, Richard
Mhm,
Sherman apparently has stated that he wants to wait for the right opportunity to play with and I say quotations, real contender.
mhm,
Um, he just came off of a season where he missed 11 games due to injury. He has stated he would be all right with
mhm.
a return to the 49ers or Seahawks, but coming off a season missing 11 games due to injury and also being 33 years old, I'm sorry, you take a lot of risk trying to go after a player at his age
Ah,
and at having some injury uh, problems. Do you think he could be picked up very soon, even with all that
I mean,
happening, or no?
if
for
if
it.
he is, it's going to be a 1-year deal. That's for sure. It's
Probably.
gonna be a 1-year deal wherever he goes. I just don't foresee him even being a starter anywhere he goes, to be honest. Like, I could see him going to the Jets. I mean, that might be a possibility. But as far as the Bills, Titans, or Chiefs, I don't think they could use him, to be honest. Like, you missed 11 games. You're 33 years old. I mean, to be honest, 33 for a wide receiver or a cornerback is up there in age. So,
Yeah,
I just don't see him getting
but
picked
still,
up.
still technically within that kind of like prime, almost out of prime
Yeah.
era.
It's going to
For
be
a
like Darrell
corner,
Revis his
you kind
last
of
few years.
met your match. Yeah.
But,
I'm not saying that he couldn't go to like maybe the Jets would be the right
mhm,
situation because
yeah,
you're with the
stay with Robert
same
Saleh.
defensive coordinator that you were with in San Fran, so that probably would work very well. And you know for sure he would be able to utilize Richard Sherman to his best ability because he knows the kind of he knows the kind of impact he can bring, but you're also taking a big risk. Like you don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
if he's banged up. He's also hasn't really been working out very much because he's in free agency. He probably is doing enough to get in NFL shape, hence why he's looking for the right opportunity to join a team. But I just don't know if the Jets right now are that real contender. I think he wants to fight for a championship,
Yeah.
and there's not many teams that are championship caliber teams right
I
now,
mean,
other than probably a few teams in the NFC and a few teams in the NFC or AFC.
mm,
Um, I mean, unless he like joins up with Tampa, but
it's
I
not
don't
going to
know. I think
happen.
they have way too much talent. I don't know if they
They
could
don't need him.
afford him. Uh,
They don't
Bills
need
really
him. They
don't
got
need him.
Winfield. He's
Titans, who
good.
knows?
Titan. The Chiefs need the secondary help,
Chiefs.
but I just don't see him making room for him.
I mean, they could pair him up with Tyrann Matthew, even though he's a safety. Actually, you know what? First off, why can't Richard Sherman at his age? Why can't he convert to a safety? I know he's a corner, but it'd probably be
I don't
easier
know.
on him to convert to a safety instead of a corner. I mean,
Hmm.
a lot of corners end up doing that. Yeah, you play a little bit further back, and you don't
Hmm.
become more of an impact player as a safety than you do as a corner. But it'd probably be easier on him at his age to change to a safety and play
Yeah.
with, you know, farther back in the backfield.
Again, I think the Chiefs
But
are out of the
um,
discussion.
who
So,
knows? Yeah,
um, the
I think
Titans
so
could,
too.
but I don't see why the Titans would want someone that old that really wasn't an impact last season. Um, so we'll have to see what
As
happens.
far as my team,
Yeah, I
I
just
wouldn't
don't think the
personally
Bills
go
need
after.
him.
No,
The Bills
I
don't
don't
even
think so
need
either.
defensive help. They've got everything they need over there. Um, but anyway, let's move forward here. Let's talk about the Suns here. Oh man, you know
Oh man, I
this
tell you
is
what,
this
they're
is
looking
surprising. Very
good
very
this
surprising.
year.
Um, they're up 3-0, 3-0 against the Rockets and MVP Nikola Jokic.
Uh, Rockets, you mean the Nuggets?
Or Nuggets. Oh my gosh, whatever. I don't watch NBA, so I couldn't care less. But hey. But anyway, yeah, Nikola Jokic won MVP, and he might be on the way out of the playoffs. Because I
Tell you
think
what, I don't know what is with the Suns team. It's funny because they all they did was just get one player, and then all of a sudden they just become like a championship contender. And I just don't understand it. I really don't. I mean, I knew Devin Booker was gonna be on his way up. I knew DeAndre Ayton was gonna be a really good impact player, but I didn't know like a 35-year-old Chris Paul would do so much impact to a team that probably needed an all-star, and they got that all-star, and now they're aiming close to their first, I think their first ever finals appearance,
Yeah.
or their first finals appearance in super long. I don't know. And I think they're a team that hasn't ever won it before. I don't think they ever have. I'm just gonna say this now. This year is going to be the year that a team never has won a finals is going to win the finals.
yeah, I'm telling you,
And if that's the Suns or
there's
Nets, that's going to be the two teams that are going to compete for their first championship this year.
I
And that's what
don't.
makes good basketball. When you have teams that have never won a championship before going up against each other, that's what makes good basketball. That's must-see basketball right there. And I think the Suns and Nets make the most sense. They're two hot teams going after each other. I think it could be a potential 7-game series if it was to happen. As
But
far
I
as the
think
Nuggets, I just don't think they were mentally prepared for a team like the Suns at all.
No, and I think
I hate to say it.
the other thing is, I think, here's the thing. Let's face it, they're going to have to play either the Jazz or the Clippers, and I think they're both bluffing. So I don't think either of them are good teams, to say the least.
Dude, the Clippers never were that good. If you had to go 7 games with a team that only has basically one superstar, you were never good to begin with. I hate to say it.
I mean, let's put
As-
it this way.
as
Luca
far
was
as,
the one carrying the freaking Mavs, okay? He was the only one carrying them.
I know.
Yeah.
I know we didn't have it down, but I actually wouldn't mind talking about him and off-season stuff for the Mavericks. We'll do that a little bit later after maybe the Mike D'Antoni stuff. As far
Yeah.
as the Jazz, yeah, they're up 2-0. But tell you what, Brian, we've seen this before. Clippers were down 2-0 against the Mavericks, and you saw what happened with that.
Mhm.
The Jazz, yes, I get it. They're a lot better. They have two supporting superstars that actually know how
Yeah.
to co-align with each other. So that's the big difference there between the Jazz and the Mavericks. Hence why they're number one seed in the West. Two, also won over 50-something games. Won 50 games this year. I don't know. 51, I think.
Yeah.
It was either 50 or
I
51. They
don't
won
know.
over 50 games this year.
Look, here's the thing. LA's
And
done.
I tell you what,
Okay, you say it's a 2-0 lead, it's manageable to come back, they're done. Ibaka's done, they're done. So, let's put it that way. I'm willing to place bets on
people
that.
will say, but they still have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, but Paul
so
George
what if
hasn't
they do?
done much.
And the Jazz have Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, who are two of the best players. And there's a reason why Rudy Gobert has won Defensive Player of the Year. Not once, not twice, but 3 times in his career. That man is just a force at the center position. And I think seeing the Jazz and the Suns in the Western Conference Finals, I know I said I might stop watching basketball, but that might be a series I wouldn't mind watching is Suns and Jazz. Because you have two hot teams going up against each other for a chance to fight for a
Yeah.
championship. Yes, I would love to see the Jazz in it. I would love to see them win it. I think they're a team that deserves to get to win a championship because, back in the 90s they had to deal with Michael Jordan and the
Yeah.
Bulls, but I just don't think this is the year for them to win a championship whatsoever. I hate to say it, maybe
Hmm.
next year. Um, it'd be very interesting. There's a lot better teams this year, and this is what happens when you spread the wealth to
Yeah.
other teams. Because then you end up having, okay, now you have the Suns, the Lakers, the Nets, the Bucks,
Hmm.
the 76ers. You have teams like
I'm
that
just,
that can fight for a championship. So,
I just hope, I wish it wasn't the Nets because the Nets kind of bought it mid-season, okay? And that's why I don't want the Nets to win it. But anyway,
yeah, but
back
they
to the
also,
Clippers
well,
though. Stephen A said if the Clippers lose that they should let Kawhi walk. I don't know what
yeah.
Stephen A has been getting into, but I mean, let's face it. I mean, he didn't want to be in Toronto. He didn't want to be with the Lakers. What's next? The Heat? I don't think he's going to the Heat. There's really no other team that could use him. That's a contender already, I should say.
I think I think you let him. I don't know. It's tough. I I think he likes the situation more in LA with the Clippers.
Yeah.
He actually seems happy, but right now he doesn't look like he's happy. And I know he does. He's a player
He
that
never
doesn't show
looks
much
like he's
emotion at all.
happy.
He never lets the money talk. He always just he's a very well-mannered player, and you can't really say that about a lot of players. He doesn't really care about the money. He just wants to play for a team that is going to give him the opportunity to win. I think he should have just have stayed in Toronto. His situation in Toronto was so much better than it was for any
Yeah.
other team
But let's
other
face
than
it,
the San Antonio Spurs.
he kind of played there against
I would
his
say,
will. He
oh, it
didn't
would be
want to be
cool.
there.
It would be cool. I know. I would think, oh, it would be cool to have him reunite. But the thing is, the Spurs are so out of their league right now. It's not even funny. He could join up with the Heat, but I think the Heat already have enough guys to have a great supporting cast. As far as other teams, I think you just let him decide. And who knows, he might very well see his way out. I don't think I do think that Tyronn Lue wasn't the right decision for
No,
um
absolutely
the
not.
Clippers
But
because just because you had success in the East with LeBron and the Cavs doesn't mean you can just go to the West and like, oh, I'm gonna have the same success because I have Kawhi, Paul George, and a great supporting cast. No. It's you're in the big leagues now, boy.
yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
eating him alive.
All right, we're running a little short on time here, so let's move forward to Mike D'Antoni before the anchor break. Mike D'Antoni is the favorite to land the Blazers job right now. Can I just say this? What's it going to take for teams to realize Mike D'Antoni is not a good coach? Okay? What's it going to take? He failed with the Knicks. He failed with the Rockets. I believe he failed with the Lakers, if I'm not mistaken. Okay?
I think so.
He's failed everywhere he's gone. Drop it. Okay? Let him walk.
Probably except for the. Actually, I think the only time he's ever really been good was with the Suns back in the day when he had
Yeah.
Nash and Amari Stoudemire. Because in 2006 they went to the Western Conference Finals against the Mavericks that year.
Okay.
That the Mavericks
He's
lost to the Miami Heat in the finals. That's probably the one time he's been good. But other than that, yeah, you're right. He hasn't been good.
No, he needs to go.
Not saying that he can't probably make the Blazers better than what Terry Stotts was doing.
I'm telling you, if I'm Kawhi Leonard and I'm hearing Mike D'Antoni might be my coach, I'm not changing my mind about how I feel about this team. I'm like, I want out. Okay. Sorry, I don't want Mike D'Antoni. I wouldn't. let me put it this way. Mike D'Antoni, Rick Carlisle, two guys I would never want to play under because they don't go anywhere. Okay?
Nope.
You know, that's why I'm actually shocked that the Mavs haven't fired him yet.
Actually, I just thought about something.
Yeah.
You know what? I think if any place, if any team should pick a Kawhi, I think Portland would be a very interesting thing. You already have Damian Lillard, you have CJ McCollum. If you had Kawhi
I
Leonard,
mean, you got a past prime Carmelo, so
ooh,
anything's an
I
upgrade.
mean, it would be only an upgrade.
You know, I feel bad because
It would only be an upgrade, and
I feel bad mouthing off about Carmelo because look what I got in the background.
yeah, you
that-
have his jersey.
But he's proven all he's ever really gonna prove in the league. So
And I'm gonna state this now. He's supposed to be a free agent this offseason, so you might as well let him walk. You bring in Kawhi, if Kawhi say does like, I'm done with the Clippers. If you're Portland, you do anything you can to
Yeah.
give that guy some like max contract deal to come join up. And I think the pitch you can be like, hey, we already have 2 All-Stars. You come in, we can probably, guarantee you can help us out to get into that championship discussion and be able to beat out, teams like the Lakers, the Suns, the Jazz, all those other teams. I think it's a match made in heaven.
I'd say so. Anyway, I'm sorry. I know you wanted to talk the Mavs, but we actually are running well over time right now. So
No, that's all
we'll
right.
save that. We'll save that
Maybe
for the
next
off
week.
season, maybe. Because we're
Yeah, I think that's good.
because we're kind of in the middle of too many playoffs right now. So we'll talk about it soon, though. But coming up after the break, we're going to talk Stanley Cup playoffs. We're going to talk Mayweather, Logan Paul, as well as some MLB stuff and our Tinkle on this segment. Before we go to break, though, be sure to check out our new channel. It's called Tinkle Entertainment. I believe Chris he was announced as the new president over there. So congratulations to Chris on the promotion from one president to another. But anyway, LaCroix is over there. So is Zach Carmine. They're all starting a show called the Tinkle Roundtable, and I believe it's more of a I don't want to say political show, but it's entertainment show, and it's beyond sports. So if you want to check it out, I believe their first episode came out on Friday. Go check it out. Go subscribe to the channel. Just look up Tinkle Entertainment. And in the meantime, we'll be back in a minute after the anchor break. All right, we've gone nowhere. We're back. All right, on that note, let's talk about the Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul fight, if you want to call it that. So many people, Jake Paul and those idiots over on another YouTube channel, they're all like, oh, Floyd Mayweather lost, our boy won. Give me a break. Come on. Mayweather mopped the floor with them. Let's put it that way.
Did.
Mayweather, there's a controversial video where it looked like Logan Paul was doubling over himself, and Mayweather actually held him up to avoid a knockout.
I kind of figured Mayweather wanted to toy with him, make it look like it was make it a good fight.
He's a con
He was
man.
just doing it for the TV ratings.
He's a
the
con
end of
man.
it.
He wanted people to watch the full 8 rounds. Look, I'm telling you, when they said at the beginning, oh, he hasn't trained for this fight like he would a normal fight, I'm like, I know we're in for some sort of disappointment. But, to be honest, the Bado Jack fight wasn't bad.
I don't think he cared about it as
No.
much as he could
There's,
have.
Look,
He's like, what? I'm fighting this punk ass bitch of a guy that acts like he's a boxer to and I got to go
You
in
know,
here and like act like I had to do something. No, I'm just gonna toy with him, make him look like he's
I'll
actually good, but show the whole world he's really not.
I'll admit here.
So,
I'll admit here. Logan Paul proved he's a little bit better of a boxer than people make him out to be. A little.
I think so
And you want
too.
to know
Yeah.
what? And I'm telling you, and I can respect Logan Paul a lot more than his brother
Hmm.
because he came into that ring, I'm telling you, if that was Jake Paul in that fight, if that was Jake Paul instead of Logan Paul, you know for a fact
Oh yeah.
Jake Paul would have been strutting the stage. I won in the post-fight interview. He would have been, I won. Thanks, Floyd. You're washed up. You suck. Um, you know,
I think if it was Jake Paul more than it was Logan Paul, I think Mayweather would have put more effort into it.
nah, I think if it was
He
for
knew that
record,
Logan Paul was a little bit more well. Yeah,
I think if it was for
probably.
record, he would have. It wasn't for record. He didn't care. He was just there to make the money
Hmm.
and to prove to himself that he could still do it, which,
What I
uh,
respect out of Logan Paul is Mauro Ronaldo asked him, "Hey, you think there would be a second fight?" He's like, "You know what? I gotta get better before I fight
yeah,
him again." I respect the hell
mm,
out of him for saying something like that.
yeah.
He knows he's
See,
good, but
he's
like
more
he could be a hell of a
well-rounded.
lot better. If there was Jake Paul, he'd be like, man, I don't need to get better. I'm already great.
Yeah.
I'm 2-0.
See,
I'm undefeated. So is
yeah,
Mayweather.
you're
I'm
undefeated
great. I'm at
against
the top of
scrubs.
my
You're
game.
undefeated
I'm
against
still
scrubs.
young.
But
That's
um,
true. As far as the undercard fights, they were good.
Badu
But
Jack
the
was a
thing I
good
didn't
fight.
like, Chad
But
Johnson's like, yes, that was a good fight, and so was that other boxing fight that
mhm,
was for record too.
yeah, the second
Jack
fight was
actually
good.
knocked technical knockout,
Hmm.
and then second fight was really good
I think it was
between two
Arias and I
it's
can't
like
remember the other
middleweight
guys.
guys.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, Arias
Arias.
and
Arias won that fight. I don't know how Arias won that fight. I mean, but he was, it started out brutal for him because he got punched in the face and he was just bleeding the rest of the match. And,
hmm
I'm thinking, oh boy, if he survives this, it's going to be a miracle. And then he's landing head blow after head blow, trying to knock this guy out. He had no success doing
hmm
it. Um, but, the second fight was the best one of the night. I mean, Chad Johnson was good, though. Chad Johnson
Oh
was.
my gosh.
That fight was a lot better than I thought it would be. Let's put it that way.
I found it hilarious that he just like taunts him and then just gets knocked the hell down. Oh
Yeah,
my
he
gosh, that
deserved
was
that.
great.
Come on. You deserved that.
Gee,
You asked for it.
I'm sorry if I'm the guy that got taunted at, I and knocked him down. I would go over and be like, yeah, what was that about? Like coming on?
Yeah.
Like you just got knocked the hell down.
Hmm.
Like you just got knocked down,
Yeah.
son.
He got right back
Shush.
up. He's like, come on, is that all you got? I'm like, oh man, here we go. Yeah, but no, it was a good fight. That was the
Yes, it
surprise
was.
fight of the night. But the two middle ones were really, really good. So I'll give him
Hmm.
credit. He put together a good card altogether. I mean, I think though Mayweather Logan Paul, it was expected to be a disappointment, so therefore it lived up to expectations. But again, I think the surprise
Yeah.
is just how gracious Logan Paul was, and like, I don't deserve to share the stage with them, but I'm so honored that we could fight and whatnot. I wish his brother could be more like him. That's all I can say.
I know. I agree.
You know.
I'm just glad that he's like, oh, he's a goat of boxing. It's an honor to be in the ring with him.
Hmm.
Um, I've learned so much from this fight. You can only get better if you're
Yeah.
him from that. I mean,
So.
he's like, it's a dream come
Hmm.
true. Um, this is the fight I've wanted. So,
Yeah. I give him credit. Um. But anyway,
as far as that, let's move on to MLB
yeah. Let's
news.
move on here. Oh, I did not erase the first story, but We already talked about the Orioles. Sorry, we're still waking up here. Tampa Bay, they're the first team to get to 40 wins this season. I'm going to tell you here why it's too early to give them the run at the World Series. Because keep in mind, we're only like 70 games. We're not even halfway yet. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This is what's great about MLB in general. You could have the lead early on and then blow it mid-season. I mean, they're up one game
Right.
against the Red Sox right now. They're 6.5 ahead of the Yankees, 7.5 ahead of the Blue Jays. I expect the Blue Jays will somehow get up there. We know the Yankees will be in play by the end of the season. They'll buy their way through it July 31st. So I'm not worried about them.
Right.
You've got the A's and the Astros on the West Coast that are always strong. So I can't say give it to Tampa yet, but I will say I'm shocked because of the trade of Blake Snell. I thought they'd be terrible, and they've bounced back really well. Let's see. As far as the NL side, though, the Giants, yes, you heard it right. The San Francisco Giants lead that division right now.
Really?
Oh, yeah. This is surprising,
Talk
too.
about a team that hasn't been in the discussion for a while.
A while. Yeah, it's been a little while since they've been in it. This is a
Yeah,
division.
because I remember when they were always in a discussion.
Yeah,
when
back
they
in
had,
the Tim Lincecum days.
Lincecum, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss that guy. I miss
I
that
remember
guy.
those days.
And Fear the Beard Wilson there as their closer. I mean, I miss those days. That was Sandoval too, I believe, was a part of that team. So, but
Probably.
no, this is turning out to be a 3-team race at this point. I don't think Colorado's going to be there. Arizona absolutely won't be there. But, I think San Fran is showing signs of old here. I think they could possibly keep up this momentum, but I look at the National League East. That division looks pretty good. The Central, 4 of the 5 teams are in play. I think the NL, the competition gap's a little closer, so I'm a little hesitant to say they'll continue this run. But
So they're better right now than the AL?
I think the NL is a little bit closer in competition than the AL. I mean, the AL, let's see. I mean, other than Tampa and Oakland being up a game, I mean, you look on further back, there's really, beyond second place in the AL, no team is closer than 6 games. So, the top 2, I mean, outside of the Central, where it's the Chicago White Sox, and for the sake of not being racist, I'll say the Cleveland Baseball Organization. That's really the furthest gap between first and second. But, again, anything can change. We're still not even to the All-Star break yet. But one thing that might not change for a little while, Jacob deGrom is just... He has
Playing lights out baseball right now.
Can I point this out? He has more runs batted in than he has runs given up right now. That's rare. That is incredibly rare
That's crazy.
for a pitcher to hit. I mean,
The dude is just like putting the Mets on his back right now.
Yeah.
He's got a great batting average and a great
he's got great RBI.
what was it like?
Let's face it, they're the only team in
I'm
that
telling
division
ya.
with a winning record right now.
That's crazy.
Telling you, if he continues coming out of the gates like this, the Mets should be able to hang on, possibly win their division. But I think There is concern, though. He did leave his last start due to some tendonitis. Um, Here's the thing. I said that they're the only team with the winning record, but let's look how close this is. No one in that division is further back than 8 games. So,
interesting.
That's the thing. This division is too wide open to lose a player right now. Especially with that many games back. Or left, I mean. So.
And the thing about professional sports, you gotta watch out with taking, certain painkillers for that too. So.
Well, I think he knows what he's doing.
Especially if it's tendonitis and like the wrist, like the throwing wrist at all.
I think it's the shoulder, if I'm not mistaken.
For him.
But
no, it's even worse because you have to have rotation.
Yeah.
In the shoulder to be able to throw the baseball. So if you have tendonitis in your throwing shoulder, that's gonna be rough.
And again, I just got to point out again, there's too little room for error in that division. So I hope that he's back soon because they're gonna need him. As far as that division, let's continue talking about that division. How's about this? Max Scherzer, he left his last start due to a groin injury. Now he is the Nationals' top pitcher right now. This is not looking good because they are the team that's 8 games back in that division. And I mentioned so little room for error. If he goes on the IL, they're in trouble. Okay, it's safe to say that they are in trouble because you fall back to like 12, 15, 20 games back. It is so hard to dig your way out of this.
It is.
So you got to feel
you literally would have to win like almost every single game just to be able to be back into that discussion, and that's never an easy feat.
And that's difficult to do in baseball,
especially when you're playing like over
162 games.
Yeah, that's really tough.
So again,
I think already at 70.
I questioned if they're in trouble. I think they're in deep trouble. Let's put it that way. Again, I say it's a long season, but it's too long. It's long, but it's not long enough to overcome a huge deficit in your division. So that's what I'll say right there. Anyway, let's move on to some hockey here. Oh man, how's about this? The Colorado Avalanche got eliminated by the Vegas Golden Knights. Something I didn't think was possible because of how well Colorado was playing. I mean, we talked about it. Colorado was the best team in the NHL.
Right.
So this comes as a shock, but at the same time it doesn't because Vegas has just been so good since their franchise started.
I think if I'm going to go with anybody between the 4 teams that are left to be in the Stanley Cup Finals, I'm thinking the Lightning and the Vegas Golden Knights. I think that's going to be your Stanley Cup Finals, to be honest.
Let me put it this way. I want that matchup, okay? Because then you get to see...
wouldn't it be the second year in a row that Vegas would be in the
No, it'd be...
World Series Finals? Or not the World Series, I mean the Stanley Cup Finals?
No,
would it
but
be a year between?
Hey, the Vegas Athletics might be because I'm sure that the A's are going to Vegas. But hey, anyway, it would be, I think, the second time in 4 years of the franchise being a franchise. But, I want to see it just because you'll see Marc-Andre Fleury, one of the greatest goalies to ever play the game, versus Andrei Vasilevsky, one of the best current goalies in the game. So, I mean, I want to see it, but I'm very, very cautiously optimistic about my Lightning there. Because...
against the Islanders.
Oh, man, the Islanders are a team that doesn't go away. That, I think, I can see being a 7-game series. As far as Vegas and the Canadiens going, the Canadiens are on a good run right now. Okay, let's be fair. The
But
Canadians,
they're also going up against a really good hockey team in
yeah.
the finals.
And keep in mind, these matchups, Vegas and Montreal, as well as the Islanders and the Lightning, let's keep this in mind, by the way. These four teams, they have never faced off against their opponents this season because all of the NHL season was interdivisional play.
Yeah.
So, this is the first. So, I can't really gauge a favorite, per se, even on records. But I'm going to say both games go 7 games, or both series.
Now, is it interdivision or interconference?
No,
Because I'm
interdivisional.
getting a little confused
No, so
on that.
there's six
Okay.
teams in your division, 5 or 6 teams. That's the only teams you played all year.
Huh, really?
So
And
you
there was
can't.
how many games that they played?
I think they played 70 or 80, something like that.
Gosh, they had to play literally the same teams so many freaking times during the season. That's rough to
Yeah,
do.
but we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I think both series are gonna go 7 games. Just I'm gonna go right off the bat and say that if any one of these series won't go 7 games, it'll be the Vegas and Montreal one. That one will
I was
be
just gonna say that I can see probably like 5 or 6.
yeah. That's the
As
one
far
that
as the Tampa Bay Lightning and
that
the Islanders, yeah,
that one's gonna
probably
be
seven
7.
games.
But we'll have to see. Of course, those series will kick off tomorrow and Monday. Will be the openers of those series, so can't wait to see it. Um, anyway, let's get on to the story, you guys. If you're watching the premiere, this is what you wait all week for. Tinkle on this. It's a little different this week. I really didn't find a bad play anywhere, but I did find something funny on Twitter. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he is entering his 17th season or 16th season
Yeah,
with
17th.
and it's with his 9th team in the NFL. He held up a sign the other day that said, "Hi, my name is Ryan. My teacher is Mr. Rivera." you know, typical first day of school signs. I got Terry McLaurin's here. Terry's first day of year 3. My teacher is Mr. Rivera. I am 25 years old. I am 72 inches tall. My friends are the wide receivers. So
Not even Ryan
you might,
Fitzpatrick. That's
and
great.
Ryan Fitzpatrick wrote him, so that's a burn right there.
Yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick said that it was his two top receivers
Hey,
as his best friends.
can I be fair?
Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin.
Can I be
That's
fair?
hilarious.
We're gonna probably lose a nice demographic here, but I'm not afraid to do it. So those parents that do this, you just got outshined by football players by doing your stupid little first day of school BS, okay? You got outshined by football players. And for that, I say tinkle on this,
Tinkle on
parents
this.
of young children. Sorry. Sorry, I just lost a demographic today. Zach will not be happy.
It's alright. That's not the demographic that matters anyway. It's always
Wow,
the younger
wow.
demographic that you're looking after.
Jason's just kidding. You all matter, okay? Trust me, we love you all.
Hey, I'm just being honest.
Hey, listen. We love you all. If you want to keep listening, keep listening. But, no, we just had to make that joke. So, tinkle on this, homeschool parents or parents of kids in school. Anyway, that's all we've got for this week. We want to thank you for watching, man. Next episode is number 24. And we'll see you again next Sunday. Until then, guys, goodbye, everyone.